Hello friend, this is Samuel Ambrose on. I'm just here to give you a recap for the previous video where we started reconstructing our Git repository, GitHub repository, and we set up GitHub account in order to create the working environment with Git. So we are going to just go through what we've learned so far, and we have been talking a lot concerning the conceptual understanding of Git. But now we are doing proper implementation to actually start doing our programming in real time. So in the previous video, we did create a Git configuration where we did configure the folders, the repositories, and we created that particular repository for the working environment. So in this video, I'm going to just walk through what we have done so far and correct some of the mistakes that we made. You know, we learn by making mistakes. So let us open the repository that we have created. Let's go to File Explorer. File Explorer is right there for us, my friend. And on the desktop, we did create a Git repository, and you can see that Git is inside our Git repository that we have created. And also we have cloned the remote GitHub repository, and that GitHub repository is called some Git tutorial. So let us go to the modes of operation that we have done. We covered the configuration so far, and we created repository for our working environment. And in the next coming session, we are going to go through the staging and revise what we have done, plus committing, which I refer to as scalability. And also we are going to create a networking or collaboration environment where we'll be able to work with others together. You know, when we are sharing our codes to control our version, we could be working in a team. So in that case, we will be sharing our experience with others, and we also need to make proper use of Git and GitHub helps and support out there. So we are going to just walk through what we've done so far. We did create a Git repository, and then we did create a GitHub repository. As you can see on the screen there, that is exactly the setup of what we have reconfigured after clearing everything. So that is absolutely a new setup. So we have Git repository set up in our local machine, local computer, and we have a GitHub repository set up on the GitHub, and then we have linked it to the local repository and cloned some copy as well to our local machine. That is what we have done. I'm just going to go through it just to, you know, clarify some of the areas that I did not explain properly. So let's get started. Let's go to our Git repository that we have created on our local device, and as you can see, the name is there and it corresponds with what we have there, Git tutorial, and there is a Git folder sitting inside it, just to prove that it is in fact a Git repository. And we can also verify that by using our terminal. Let's go to Git bash terminal, and try to, you know, to verify this folder that we have created there. So remember, we are in the Git bash terminal. We want to go inside that folder, and it is on the desktop. As you can see right now, we are sitting on this PC here. So we need to hop to the desktop, and then see what is there on the desktop. And my friend, as we can see, there's a lot of things on the desktop, but our intention is to get Git tutorial. That's where we want to be at the moment, and from there, my friend, we can go inside Git tutorial and check what is there. As you can see, the Git tutorial is sitting on our desktop and is empty. From the command line, from the terminal, you will not be able to see the .git folder which is sitting inside the Git folder there. But to prove from the terminal that the Git tutorial is actually a repository, you can just see there the main is sitting on the main. That main is the main branch. Or you can try to type some command, some Git command. Let's run Git to make sure that Git is there. Yeah, Git is there. So you can do Git show, for example. You see, fatal, your current branch main does not have any commits. So this is really good error message, because git show and git log can only be used after doing something or after an event in our system to show the commit messages and what might have taken place, after creating or modifying our files. The best command to use at this git status or git status, some people say it like that. As you can see there, we're sitting on branch main, no commit yet, nothing to commit. So my friend, this is just to verify that we have Git repository sitting on our computer. Previously, we did connect this Git tutorial to the repository directly. We connected this one to remote repository, so we can establish that connection from here as well. We have connected this Git repository, this local Git repository, to the GitHub repository, which is called tutorial. This is a GitHub repository via some kind of a link. So this is our GitHub sitting on the internet there, the GitHub server. On that GitHub server, we created a GitHub repository called some Git tutorial. We can also go there and verify. Let's go there and verify. Google Chrome and go to our GitHub account. My friend, this is a GitHub account we created last time, and we created a Git repository on this account, and that Git repository is called some tutorial. As you can see here, there's only one repository from the overview page. You can even see the name of the GitHub account is called some Git code, and I joined 2 weeks ago, obviously. So we are not going to go through the various options of the GitHub, because the main aim for this course is just for you to be able to create your GitHub repository and a local Git repository, so that you can be able to push your work to the GitHub. So we have GitHub repository here called some Git tutorial, and this is the GitHub repository. It's a GitHub repository that we have linked. So this is the internet. This is the internet bit. We are on the GitHub, and we created a repository called some Git. Okay, see, popular repository. We have some Git tutorial, and some Git tutorial is sitting on our local desktop there. I just put it there to show the link, because we have linked the Git tutorial local repository to some Git tutorial GitHub repository, which is this one. This one is now sitting on the internet, whereas this Git is on a local PC. This one is on our local PC here. Let me put it side by side so that you can see. Sorry, I just want to demonstrate this thing concurrently. Git tutorial, as you can see at the top there, is this folder sitting inside our local machine. This is the local machine. This is our GitHub. Inside this GitHub, remember this GitHub is on the internet, is the remote repository sitting on the internet. As you can see, github.com. I have my GitHub account, and there's a repository called Git tutorial, and that is the Git tutorial I've put there. And this is the Git tutorial local repository. This is the GitHub repository, and I have linked the two. So I want to show you the link between the two repositories. So this is the local repository, and that one is the GitHub repository. And to establish the link, you can just type command called git remote -v. So my friend, this link here you can see is here, origin github.com samgit, which is this samgit code, and inside samgit code we have samgit tutorial. This is my GitHub repository. So I have linked the remote repository directly to my local repository, so that whatever I do locally can be pushed. I can push it after doing, just can push it to update what is there inside the GitHub repository. So my friend, this is the architecture and the setup of what we have done so far. But while I was setting this, I think I made some mistake in setting up the configuration for the default branch of the local repository git tutorial. So let us see the configuration there. Git config -- list. Yeah, as you can see, we got the default branch on this repository, and default branch is set here at the system scope by default, and my name is there as the user of the system. The email is there, but as you can see, I have set some branch there on the global scope, and I need to find a way of deleting that branch because it is not user friendly to have that branch there like that. Because I have initialized it, I should have made it to be like a default branch. So let's see if we can get rid of it. To get out from there, you just need to type Q to quit. So git config -- and set. I think it's unset -- global init dot branch. Let me see if it's going to do it. So let's run git config -- list -- show origin. We want to see all the scopes instead of seeing just one. So I have deleted the branch, but the default branch, yes, I have successfully deleted the branch which I created under the user under the global scope there. Remember, anything from here going up is the system scope. Anything from here going all the way there is the global scope, and the way to define it is by looking at git.config. Now when you go one step ahead, you will see git.etc.gitconfig. From there onwards, just know that you're already in the system scope. But below this git config dot is what is called the local scope. So we have our local scope there. See, everything from git /config is under local scope. This is where we are working. This is our working environment, and as I said before, anything done from the local scope is locally significant, but it will affect the system scope as well as the global scope, because both system scope and global scope supersede, or they are the superset of the local scope. So I've done that. I'm happy that I've done that. So let's get out. Now we are sitting on the local repository, which is this one here. As you can see, there is nothing on the local repository. There's nothing. There's absolutely nothing there. And on our GitHub as well, there is absolutely nothing on our GitHub account For example, when we go to repository, you see we can only invite people and do the link up right now. So we are going to create some code and then push it to our GitHub repository. So this is our local machine. We are right inside our local machine. So we want to create some files on our local machine. My friend, this is the time we are going to start working in this GitHub environment, this environment that we have set. We are going to start configuring it right now, and we have done the link. So we want to see how to get from our working repository to the staging mode. As we talked about the staging mode last time, staging is basically a memory zone where we send the modified files there to stay there temporarily while waiting for them, or for it if it is one. We wait for the file to be committed from the staging mode, and it is from the staging zone that the files will be tracked by Git. But Git starts its work from working environment. But many people don't know that, because there is a proof that Git knows what happens in the repository at any point. So once we put anything in the repository, Git will learn about that thing. That is why when we go to our working environment, we'll find that there are files there which are untracked. So for Git to know that those files are untracked, it must have learned something about it. So Git learns that, okay, from the working environment, the files are untracked. And then when we move from there to the staging mode, Git will now tell you that the file is now tracked. It's for you to track them, not the Git. But Git has already done its work. It has untracked it. It knows that you have to move to the tracking mode stage, to the staging mode, in order to commit the files that you are working on. So in the meantime, let us go and grab some files. I did some work before. Let's see if we can manage to get to that file. Let's go on our desktop. File Explorer. I've got them. I'm going to bring this website. Yes, so my friend, we are going to start now doing our real implementation. We are assuming that we have set, not assuming, we have already done the setting of our repository. Everything is ready now for us to work. We are inside our repository called Git tutorial, and we can check in that folder. There is nothing. But then we have done some work previously, and let me just go and do it let us open the Sublime text. Yes, I have some files here. This file, let me just write something here. System.out.print. Let us print something. So this is just another line I'm printing in this Java file, and on our CSS I got some something about the body here. I got the image displayed black, and then the margin. I'm going to change the width of I'm going to add the height of the image to about, let me say, about 50% on my CSS. Please don't worry about this CSS or Java. We are going to do them in details. I've just created some small project here, just for the demonstration purpose, and I have some HTML here as well. I have created I've created some heading here, and it's inside the div menu, and then header. I have the header 1, the body there. Yes, header paragraph. Let me say inside this paragraph there's some text 1, some text 2, some text 1, some text 2, and we have image there. We may add more image. Let me see, image. We may add more image. That means I have to put more image. Okay, let me just put jpg. Yeah, I'm just creating something here, and when I go down, some text this, some text there, some text too. Okay, I can type here like this is my web page. Okay, so we got javascript file as well, and we got some document there. We are splitting up the text to the HTML page. So let us split more text. Let me split more text and say let us split more text. Some text 3. Some text 3. Some text 3. Let's say I am just testing. So this is the JavaScript, and we need to create this get document by ID. So we need to create this div on our CSS, on our HTML file. Now I created some text 1, some text 2, get the document by ID. So this text is being sent from the JavaScript. So I just need to add another paragraph here, and we can also put this paragraph in that div. Okay, we can put them inside that div so that we can be able to manage them. Yeah, so this div, we can say, we can give them the class name, class equals give them just main text. Yeah, so we can go to our CSS, create another class right here, and then we can say main text. Yeah, so the main text, we can set the padding to 0 pixel, and then we can also align the text align. We can align it at the center. right? So this is something we are doing. We can save it. Let's save this file in our repository, which is on the desktop. Git repository, we are going to save this file there, and then we are going to save this web page also on our Git repository. Save as on our Git repository. Save on our Git tutorial repository. We're going to save this web there, and these style sheets we are going also to save it there. Okay, the style sheet is there, and we are going to save this JavaScript also in our repository. Let us save it there. JavaScript is already there. Okay, JavaScript is already there. HTML, save to our repository folder, yes, and CSS to our repository folder, save to our repository folder, yes, it's there. So now we have all the files, but I'm going to leave Java file here. I will add it later. So we have now created some documents on our repository. So we need to go to our repository and check whether we have those folder files there. My friend, as you can see, we have the style, we have, but there's no JavaScript there in our Git tutorial repository. Let us view all the files. So I have not seen JavaScript there. This JavaScript files, save as, desktop, Git tutorial. Let's save JavaScript there, and then check our repository. Yes, my friend, now as you can see, we have our project here now. So this is our local repository, my friend. So we have saved our project, and now we want to see what is happening. We have created files. Remember, before we did not have anything. Our Git folder was clean, but now let us run git status to see what is happening now. Git status is basically used to show us what is happening now. So each time when you do commit, save anything new in the file, you must use git status just to see what is happening currently. So as you can see, my friend, we have 3 files sitting there, and as you can see, Git is telling us that these files are on track, which means that they are not staged, they are not put in the memory to be sent to the commit history. So Git knows that we have the file. He is telling us that, you know what, you have this version of file here, but if you leave them here, yeah, I will keep on looking after them, but if you need to control their version, you must track them and send them to commit, create the history for them at this time, so that next time when you work on it again, we will create another version for you. That is what untrack is telling us there. So let us now stage this file. We want to send them to the stage mode. As you can see, use git add file to include it, in what will be committed. So everything that goes in the staging mode will be committed. We cannot we can force commit straight away from here, but it's not advisable. It's not really something which is recommended for us to do, you know. So we better go through the staging mode, and after staging, then we commit the files from there. So from here we can decide which file do we want to commit, which one are we happy with, you know, which one do we think is complete and we are happy with them at this stage. So before doing that, we can run our website to see what is there, to make sure that everything is working according to the plan that we have. So when you double click this, you can see this is what JavaScript is telling me. This page says you are about to see the text about my website. Yeah, okay, I want to see. So my friend, as you can see here, we have some images that are not there, you know, and there's some hovering effect there from our CSS. Like when we hover the image, it should increase the size. And we have the text here, and as you can see, the text is okay, but you can see because of me everywhere there. I dedicate this work to my family, especially to my sweetie. So yeah, this is what we have done so far, and these links are inactive. They're not active, actually. They're not linked anywhere. It's just basically a website which is not active. I've just done it for the demonstration purpose. So the website is working, although it's not fully functional. But at this stage, I am happy. I'm happy with the website. So I can to add them to the staging mode. Now Git gives us this command called add. So remember, the mode we are going to right now is the staging, but the file is sitting right in our repository. Now we are going to send them to the staging mode, and we can only go there by saying git add. Now from here, my friend, if you want to add a specific file, for example, if you want to add java.js, I mean sam.js alone, sam.js alone, we can do that. But at the same time, if you want to add all of the file, then we just need to do dot there, and that will add all the files to the staging mode. Let's see. Let's say we want to add sam.js. You see, and then run git status. My friend, as you can see, one file is, one change is to be committed. Use git remove --cage file to unstage. You see, Git is very intelligent. It's even suggesting that at this point, if you don't want to commit this file, you see the one in green, the file has been moved to the staging mode, whereas those ones in red are still there in our repository, in our working directory. Everything is in our working directory, but the modes of availability, the modes of operation is different from inside there. So we have moved from the working mode to the staging mode. That is why the file is green in color. From there, we can go back, and let's say we don't want to move just one. We want to move all the files together to the staging mode. So we can go back to the staging mode by using what Git has suggested as there. You see, Git is very cool, man. So we need to type git remove --caged. Then we put the name of the file that we want to move back is sam.js. So if you run git status again, you will see that sam.js is back here and there's nothing that is being tracked at the moment. We came back here because we thought that, you know, it would not be nice to just commit one file at a time. We want to commit all the file at the same time, but remember, this is just an optional kind of choice that I'm making now, just to show you how you can go back and forth from the staging mode back to the working mode, and then you can go back again. So let us add everything to the staging mode by using git add space, then full, it's like period or full stop. but it's telling us that now we have to move everything to the staging mode. So my friend, when we run git status, git status, my friend, you can see all the files are now sitting here in the staging area. They're waiting to be committed. What if now we change our mind once again and say, no, you know what, we don't want to track these files? To remove that, my friend, you use git reset. That's why last time I was telling you about the 3R: remove, reset, and revert. See, those are the powerful command to use in git. So we are going to try to use them. So let us remove all the files back to the untracked or unstaged zone. You can just do git reset. Yeah, git reset and then git status. You see, all the files are back to untracked zone. But for now, we just want to commit all of them. So let's do git add and then git status. You can see there. So we are going to do our first commit right now, my friend. So we have seen the staging area. What we can do there, you can come there to put the file or the files that you are going to commit in the staging zone. Now to commit those files, my friend, that is the next thing we are going to do now, to write it in a history, to say that, you know what, these are the copies of files that we need to keep right now, so that tomorrow if we make any changes, it will create a new version. So for now, let us call the spade a spade, or a spade the spade. We are committing this file now to our repository to keep the history. So to do that, my friend, from the staging mode, remember we started coming from the working directory, from our repository where all the files have been learned by git but not tracked, and then we track them by sending them to the staging mode using git add. If you say git add and then put the name of the file, specific file there, only that specific file will be in the staging mode. But if you say git add space full stop, that means you are telling git to take all the files available in the working directory or working mode straight to the staging area. And that's what we have done. That's why you are seeing 3 files in the staging area at the same time. Now we are ready to commit them. So to commit is just to like conclude, to take everything, to say like, you know what, these are the files we are happy with at the moment. Whether we have completed working on them or not, we are happy to save them in our system. So you can just go and say git commit. git commit. Then you put the commit message. You can say first commit, or you can say first version. Let's say our first version. Our first version. Our first version of the system. Then enter. You can see, my friend, git commit our first version of the system, main root, our first version of the system, 3 files changed, 135, 135 insertions. You see, and I guess that must be the number of lines. And created mode 10064 sam.js, 10064 sam website.html, 10064 style.css. So we can do get status now. Get status. Remember, always do get status to see what is there, what is pending, what is up. So once our status is telling us there's nothing, you see, nothing to commit, working tree clean, our working directory is clean, there's nothing to commit, my friend, at this time you can now use the powerful tools, Git operations or operator known as git log, git show, git diff. You can run all of them here now to see what we have done so far. Yes, my friend, you can see git log. We have the commit history there. We have one commit, and it is sitting on the main. You can see head main branch, and the author, this is very important, the author, this is the configuration we did before. You can see them there, Sam, and my email is there, the date is also there, and the commit message. So this is what git log does. It gives you all the details that you need about the committed message. If you want to get a short form of this git commit ID, that's when we use git commit. Git log -- one line, and then you see the short form of that commit ID is replicated here, and the message. So git log one line doesn't give you a lot of information. As you can see, we don't have the author details, we don't have the date there, but we do have the commit message and the message ID, there. So my friend, now we have committed some work in our repository. So the next things to do from here now, let us say we say that, okay, we have our work now. You can decide whether you want to keep the work for yourself, and and just keep it in your local repository and carry on working. That is the zone where you will be. But let us say that, you know what, now I have committed my work. I want to share it with others on the GitHub. That, my friend, is where you want to be on the GitHub, to share your work with others on the GitHub, my friend. And that is when we need to push the work we have done to the GitHub. So my friend, that's what we are going to do now. After committing the message, we want to push it so that we have a copy of what we have done inside our GitHub repository. And that, my friend, is what we are going to do now. Since we are connected to the GitHub already, we are just going to use, you know, a very simple command to accomplish the work. So let's see how we are going to do the pushing now. So my friend, we are going to see this in the next video. Thank you for viewing.